Hey, Bill here with MyFreePick.com as we're going to head into our second video covering your Major League Baseball and NBA professional bettor sharp line movements on tonight's playoff basketball and Major League Baseball action. Now, we already put the first video up, so make sure you tap on the link in the profile and jump over to MyFreePick.com. That way you can catch up on the first segment of plays that we put up. And then we're going to go into some of the later games here in the evening. So your play is up there for your early game on your Milwaukee and Miami. It's going to be a great game based on how the pro bettors line movements and investments per dollar have come in your early Major League Baseball action. So now let's jump ahead a little bit and let's take a look at the Miami Marlins. We'll jump into baseball first, and then we'll jump over to the later NBA Lakers and Houston primetime matchup game that we all have been waiting for. So when we take a look at this Miami Marlins Tampa Bay Rays game, we look at the line. It opens up at minus 145. It comes down to minus 135, favoring Tampa. Now that looks like dollars are coming in on the Tampa side. Now sometimes the line movement is actual. A lot of guys will say, well, hey, the line movement moved this way. The sharp guys must be in this arena, so this is where I'm going to bet. Sometimes they say, hey, the betting public is in this direction, so therefore I'm going to fade the betting public. So there's a lot of different ways to go about it. There is no right or wrong way. You got to have a formula when it comes to a formula and algorithm when it comes to having a level of consistency to beat your sports book in your bookie. It's about weekly earnings. Reach out for me because my personal bets that I wager on myself, I give those out to my select clients. My direct number is 775-303-6194. You can drop me a direct text and I can get you on the right side using my algorithm and formula. So when you're talking about sharp bettors have their own formulas. When I'm looking at this line here for the Rays and the line going from minus 145 to 135, looks like money's coming in on Miami because the books do not want to allow you to cash out bigger on Miami because money's coming in on Miami. So it looks like that's where the sharp action is. In reality, the sharp action is all over Tampa here in this setting at minus 135, even though the betting public is also 74% in the same direction. So when I'm looking at sharp action, you can have 50 pro sharp guys, and if you have 30 of those pro sharp guys going $10,000 each on a game, that's $300,000. You take 20 of them, let's say they're going the opposite direction, but at 20,000. Well, that could be 20 guys at 20,000 on Miami, $400,000. The line's going to move towards Miami. This is where you get line movement from, but it doesn't mean that is where the majority of the sharp action is. The majority of the sharp guys are rolling with Tampa tonight. And when you look at that combined team total, where it goes from 8 down to 7.5, that is an actual replication of where the sharp action is sitting at. Sharp action likes under the total. So here's a scenario where the movement does replicate your pro better sharp line movement for that game. We go a little bit later. We'll burn through these real quick. Atlanta and Washington, it goes from an 8 up to 8.5. That looks like on the combined team total, the sharp action is going over the total, or the money is going over the total because more money is coming in, moving the line up. Sharp guys, the majority, like under the total. And then some guys will say, well, hey, wait a minute. Why don't I just sit there and just go straight forward with where the large money is coming in at if it's always moving the line upward? Well, because ultimately in this game, it could be sharp better A, B, and C going heavy, moving the line up. And then in the other game, it could be sharp better D, E, and F, putting heavy dollars down, moving the line up. So you can't just stick with that. That's why I like to go with where the majorities are, because there's no pro sharp guy that goes heavy on a game, then goes down, goes heavy and back down. They move it around. They don't go heavy, per se. So ultimately here on this game where the line on the Washington-Atlanta has gone from 8 up to 8.5, the sharp action likes under that total there in that game. Then that second game, the Toronto and Boston game, there's a game one's going on right now. Toronto is up, but they're only up by one run here. The second game, they're a minus 127 favorite, opens up at minus 135. Dollars came in on Boston, but again, the sharp action likes the Blue Jays here in this game to take the cake and get the winner. Same side as your betting public in that game. Mets, Philly, this is a good one to gauge off of. 9.5 on your combined team total. The line jumps up to $10, flooding in on over the total to cash tickets at your sports book or your bookie. But the majority of the sharp guys like under the total there in the Mets and the Phillies game. Baltimore Yankees late game. Line goes from Yankees at minus 160, jumps up to minus 175. This is one where the line movement is with the sharp action. So here, the majority of the sharp guys are going with the Yankees here with the line movement. So like I said, it mixes and matches here a little bit. The best method is to have a good sports handicapper that has an algorithm formula, sometimes with the betting public, sometimes against. That's what I use in my 15-year algorithm. Keeps me very consistent, keeps my clients happy. Reach out for me. Reach out to me and I can get you on the right side for those. Drop me a text, 775-303-6194. And then let's see if there's anything else on the Major League Baseball slate. That's it over there. So let's look at this NBA game, and let's look at the Lakers opening up here, labeled as the home team, minus 6.5. The line opens up at. Majority of the betting public slightly liked Houston here. The line is kind of stuck in the middle. Went from 6.5 down to 6, which the early money was coming in on Houston. That money is accurate money. That is the sharp money. The sharp money likes Houston plus the points here. Now it's bumped back up because now you got some late dollars coming in on the Lakers, which has balanced it across the board. It's like a stock market. It's like a ticker. It's like a chart. 6, 6.5, down to 6, back up to 6.5. So you got to know where the money's coming in at what time to really be able to gauge it. Majority of the sharp guys like Houston on this game. The combined team total, 226. It's frozen, hasn't moved. Majority of the betting public likes the over. Sharp guys also like over the total in the Houston Rockets Lakers game to cash out tickets. So there you have it. Make sure you subscribe, opt in, follow, and drop me a text. The earlier video's on, so you post it up there on the website. So you can also jump on that YouTube and see what's going on for the Miami and Milwaukee game as we posted that earlier. And like I said, guys, let's keep the ball rolling. Smacking your bookie all week long, all year long. Bill, myfreepick.com. I'm always crunching those numbers to bust out those premium play winners.